Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Bearded Respect, episode number 73. And I know, at least for us, it'll be a special show.
Oh yeah.
Not sure what Becky means by this should be an interesting show. Looks like she's got a bald-headed guy or something. But we'll be right back after this intro video. Hello, everyone.
What's up?
Happy Thursday, everybody.
Yes.
Yes,
definitely. Friday Junior. Jason, you want to say hi to these fine
I
people?
sure will. We had Aldemir was first, number one today.
Hell yeah!
Actually, Mark Brown commented yesterday that he was first.
Okay.
It just doesn't show up on our live stream.
You're telling me there's a chance.
And there's Miss Bruce City Becky. Hey, Becky.
up, Becky?
Hello, madam.
Hi, honey.
And JP. Hey, JP.
JP, what's up?
Maybe we could live without the wisecracks.
That's not
Ellie.
late.
Hey, Ellie.
Hey, Ellie.
11 Bravo.
What's up, 11 Bravo?
Hello, neighbor.
Thanks for joining us.
Fish Ken. Aloha.
Jen, what's up?
Chris.
Greetings.
Hey, Chris.
What's up, Chris?
Greetings.
I tell you what, True North has very fast shipping. I ordered Monday and got it today. Like, the box was almost on fire. That
Hey,
fast.
Walter.
Hey, brother.
What's up, Vato?
Hey, Mark. Yeah, all our shows are special. They are.
What's up, Mark?
No way.
Hey, Russ. Good to see you, buddy.
Russ.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
The Red Pecked family.
Red pecked.
Hey, Justin.
What's up, Justin? Thanks for stopping in.
Yeah, thanks.
Hey. Hey, Donald.
Hello, peasants.
Hey, Donald. Good to see you.
What's up, Donald? I thought Jason was frozen for a moment.
Hello.
Ellie says it's her Tuesday. That's a bummer.
Well, that's confusing.
There she is. Okay. I'm going to announce this right now since Tara's in here. Tara?
What's up, Tara?
next week, word will be out. Puppies will be on the live stream. So you won't want to miss that one. Oh, bearded gamer. Hey,
What's up, gamer?
That was a good one. Yeah, I beat you on that one,
Big
man.
Stu.
What's up, Big Stu?
Hey, Big Stu.
Hello there, children.
And I may be yawning, but guys, I promise I got a nap today, so I'm okay.
Excellent.
And caught up with everybody that said hi.
All right.
No, Ellie, I don't have any clothes for them yet because they're growing like weeds and they'd be grown out of them already. Yeah. The girl, she's the little Miss Chunker. She's over 3 pounds already, and the two boys are still in the 2 pound range. So yeah, she's a chunker. Yes, Mark. I got that notification the other day myself, yesterday. Yep.
Yeah, I actually got to meet him, not meet him, but see him live in Kuwait, which was really cool. By then he was done with the WWF and, turned to WWE, but he was just kind of like touring with, I guess, a group that went to different military bases, and they came out to Kuwait. It was really cool. But I wonder if his Twitter account will shut down or it'll keep going. He had like, if you ever saw his tweets, they were cool.
Yeah, I was able to see him wrestle when he was in Milwaukee
Yeah.
back in the day.
Oh yeah.
We'll see about that, Tara, because she's a little bit heavier for me to pick up to put her on a camera. But yeah, we'll see.
You need a floor cam. Yeah. His last tweet ever was the day before he died, and it was like, fuck forest fires or something like that. Yeah, I forgot my cup today. I completely forgot to use it. So I got the black rifle.
Well, why don't we go ahead and bring on our guest?
Yeah.
Paul, he's actually has the longest mustache in Guinness World Records. So
how many Guinness records have we had on this show?
Well, one guy had like 12, so
yeah.
So here's Paul.
Hey,
What's
Paul.
up, Paul?
Respect, Paul.
How you guys doing?
Great.
Now, Paul, what are you in the Guinness Book of World Records for?
Officially, it's the longest handlebar mustache male, living male.
Okay.
So, and if you guys go on the Facebook page for these guys, the comments are pretty good.
They are.
They're asking about what about the girls, and then what about on a dead person?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I saw
it's pretty good.
Yeah. I saw one comment. It was like, boy, Americans use weird things to measure with. Because it's a reference
Well,
to...
when you take into consideration that the U.S. uses the imperial system and everybody else's metric, you
Right.
know, so got to be the individuals.
Yeah, I think it was referring to the 4-month-old baby.
Yeah.
mustache as long as a 4-month-old baby. So I thought it was the straight, or not the straight, but the English mustache. I thought that was the
English, yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
That's the category.
Okay.
And I was trolled by MJ Johnson to do this for since 2017.
Yeah.
And succumbed to the pressure in August of last year. And the Guinness folks actually dethroned the current person that has the longest mustache of 16 feet.
Right.
Because they were schooled by the WBMA on what a mustache was. So the gentleman who held the record is now he's in another category. I'm not sure what it is now. But
And that's actually a picture of him there at the bottom, I believe.
that
Right
picture's
there. Yeah. But his like includes like part of his beard, right? Like that's why
correct.
it didn't qualify.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's out on his cheeks. Now handlebar mustache by WBMA standards, you cannot have any hair beyond 1.5 centimeters the opening of the mouth. It all has to be shaved.
Oh, has to be shaved.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, here it says longest artificial beard wax ever.
Artificial
'cause
beard wax?
Locks, right? Because it's like a dread. It's like a dreadlock.
Well, mine is not a dread. The
his.
guy who had the world record is a dread.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's saying it's the world's longest dreadlock.
Yeah.
Mustache.
Yeah, that's probably that's what it should be.
Right.
So
Okay, I have a question. How long does it take you to do that? To style.
So that's a very that's a relative question. Depends on who you ask that does this. As you know, there are so many waxes out there, and a lot of the waxes there's a lot of beeswax in it. And the only way you can get a wax in your beard is to actually try and heat it up between your fingers and pull it through. Well, I've been using Clubman for about 30 years. And what I do is I heat it up, and it's water soluble. So it takes longer to heat the wax up, and I'll put same amount on each side, and I'll comb it through to get good coverage. So I know between Pat Fett and Eddie Kremling, those guys were waxing their stashes for about a week to 2 weeks prior to the world competition, from what I understand. Mine was a 4 a.m. style. So I've tried to heat wax up in the tins and stuff like that. It just doesn't work. And I found that the Clubman actually is better for me. Everybody has their own preference. But if I get into humidity, forget about it. It comes down. Or a rainstorm, no, it's not good. Get caught out on the golf course, still not good.
Oh wow.
So, but yeah, I do this every day. If not, forget about eating. You can't. So, and I had the kind of interesting thing. I had Taxi Phil send me a T-shirt. It's black in the front, but in the back, it states that it's if you can't see it from the back, it's not a mustache.
Right.
So kudos to him.
Now, do you trim that at all? Like loose
Never been
hairs
trimmed.
or
Never been trimmed.
never been trimmed?
Nope.
No.
Nope. And it's still growing. I don't know when it's going to stop.
Hey, Walter.
So it's probably grown longer than the world record then.
Yeah. It could be. Yeah.
Which is what? How many inches right now?
Right now it's 25 and a quarter inches, and that was as of December. So, and I don't, I mean, heck, man, I can't go a couple days without shaving, so it's still growing.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Walter. And Walter
Yeah,
doing this.
It's a hell of a mustache.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a Texas Longhorn. Yep. Yeah, we were wondering. We were
True.
wondering if it was going to fit on the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty close. It's pretty close.
So Scott and I kind of met. I mean, we saw Paul at Nationals in Casper, Wyoming last November when we were there. And I recall a couple of guys. I think I remember you sitting next to another guy that had another long mustache, like just sitting next to each other. I just have that visualization. Was that your nephew?
I think it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. He's currently at 20 and a half inches, and he's been growing his since 2017. So I wouldn't be surprised if he passed me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Genes.
It's gotta be.
That's incredible.
And you've been growing that for 30 years, you said, right?
Yeah, about 30 years. Yeah, it all started when I worked at Boeing. I had to be qualified for respirator. So, the hair requirements. You can't have mustaches. They're like, nah, you can't have it outside the mouth that far because you don't get a good seal. Well, one day I did my normal trim and I kissed the wife, and she told me not to trim my mustache again because it's like kissing a wire brush. So
yeah, I get that.
Stopped. And then it was, not too long after that, I had to find another way to satisfy the respirator requirement. And I found out that they have an apparatus called the hood, which is a positive pressure hood that you put on. So there you go. And I've had in 2011, the Boeing company moved us down to Charleston to set up the facility. And I was told by my manager that I had to shave my mustache because I had to come inside the respirator requirements. And I said, I don't think so. Showed her my respirator card that showed I was certified for the hood. And if the site didn't have the proper equipment to support that, then it's not my problem. It's the company's problem. And besides that, I have coworkers here that can fill the need if needed. So, and they're started the battle. But I even had the FAA ask me if I would go to work for them, and they said, "Would you shave your mustache?" And I said, "Mustache is not negotiable. You take me for the whole package, or we don't have, we don't do business together." So
Yeah,
and
so
now
strange,
it's a trademark in my business.
Yeah.
I should have brought one of my shirts, but the mustache is incorporated in the logo.
Yeah, hey, Gary. Yeah, you hear a lot of stories about people going for a job interview and they want them to shave their beard and this and that. And yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. No way. No way.
But it's strange that these airline companies or plane companies would be against someone that has wings.
There you go. In fact, I do a lot of traveling, and a lot of the cabin crews and flight crews, the drivers, they all like it.
Yeah. So speaking about the respirator, Ken, Aloha Ken, or what's his name? Official Ken from Hawaii. He may know about this, being a history teacher, but Hitler had a handlebar mustache, and in World War I, he cut it down because he couldn't get a seal on his respirator. and that's why he ended up with the Charlie Chaplin
Ah,
the mustache.
well, that's good. He shaved it off.
Yeah, because like then it'd be uncool to have a handlebar mustache if he
Amen.
didn't.
Amen.
You'd have the Hitler mustache.
Yes, Walter. This is the longest it has ever been because he just keeps.
And I see the comment about pay 3 tickets. Well, what's interesting, this thing has gotten so long now in the last probably 3 months. If I ride on the aisle, anybody going up and down the aisle will hit it.
Yeah.
If I'm riding on the window, well, I got to do battle with the wall. And if I'm in the middle, I just tell, I apologize for if I poke anybody in the ear or whatever,
Tell them they could just lean against it.
Yeah, no, kickstand. There you go.
The headrest. The forward headrest.
So I was looking at one of the pictures that you guys had pulled off my Facebook. It was me and another gentleman. If anybody is a baseball aficionado, that was Goose Gossage.
Yeah.
Down here in
Wow.
Charleston, the River Dogs was the Class A affiliate for the Yankees.
Can you pull that up again, Scott?
Shortly after I came down here, they ran a promotion for basically like backstage, getting in the clubhouse and private meeting and all that stuff. And they went to, I don't know if anybody you guys probably know who Paul Roof is. Paul was the one of, well, him and Brad, I can't remember his last name anyway. They founded Holy City Beard and Mustache Society. And the director of marketing for the River Dogs reached out to Paul and said, "Hey, we want to do something, about facial hair. We can do an online competition. What do you think?" And he goes, "Yeah, sure." So my daughter had to help me out. She took the picture and posted it, and it was Gossage that was going to determine who the winner was. And Gossage was the one who broke George Steinbrenner's rule for facial hair.
Oh, okay.
So he was another facial hair aficionado, and took, of course, obviously a 1. And when I walked into the locker room where he was at, there was a bunch of people in there who knew exactly who I was. Can't imagine why, but there was a few other pictures that we took together. But yeah, that was the best one. So, great guy.
Right.
Yeah, another baseball player I think about with a mustache is Raleigh Fingers.
There you go. Yeah, Raleigh Fingers.
Yeah.
Yep.
In fact, when I would travel to Vegas every once in a while, apparently Raleigh used to or still does live in Vegas. And all the TSA guys were saying, "Yeah, man, Raleigh Fingers just came through here."
Look how short your mustache is in that picture.
Yeah. Yeah, it was negotiable then.
Russ wants to know about your driving. Do you curve your stash up, or do you just open the window?
Actually, when I ride, it just flutters. And it's to the point now where if I roll down the window, the rushing wind will come by and actually, grab it and flutter it. So,
Did you ever tie it behind your head so it doesn't do that?
it's not quite there yet, but it's getting close.
Yeah.
Hey, Tyson.
So with that picture with the goose, you had a goatee.
Yeah. I used to do a goatee all the time, and then when I went to Worlds in 2017, that's when it came off because you can't have that.
That's what I was going to ask. Was that a requirement to get rid of that so that you can qualify?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in fact, what's really interesting, that was my first exposure to a major competition.
Was Worlds.
Yes.
Wow.
And Paul
Wow.
shoved me into it. You got to go. You're going to podium. I said, Paul, don't do that. It's like going to the Olympics, man. All I want to do is just cross the stage and get the certificate.
Yeah.
So when I heard about pre-jury, I'm going, what the hell is that? Well, I didn't realize you got to go in and get judged. Well, it was Bruce Rowe and I think it was Brian Nelson for the two judges. And in close proximity to where they were at was Tommy Rowe. I don't know if you know who Tommy Rowe is. She's that's Bruce's wife. She's been a judge for 15 years, facial hair judge. And there was an argument that broke out between Bruce and Tommy about how much hair I had to take off. And Tommy basically told Bruce, I'm the judge. He will do what I tell him to do. I went, I'm not getting in the middle of this. So, but yeah, I was totally surprised. And then backstage, I was still blown away by the fact that I'm watching grown men going into a dressing room that can seat easily 24 people. And they had 6 of those with at least a half a dozen bags full of stuff to do their hair. It's like, you got to be kidding me. And then talking to Eddie and Pat and finding out how much time they spend doing their mustache. I'm going, man, I'm way over my head. So, and then, you know who Lucio Batista, Mustache Batista? Heard him before? He competes every once in a while on American Ninja. He's podiumed, regional, national, world competition. But he was telling me that afterwards on Saturday, he told me that everybody in the category had either podiumed in regional, national, or world competition, and I was the 2 dark horse. And when he saw the 2 judges whip out the tape measure, he said he's going to be on the podium for sure. So, interesting.
Let's pause for this puppy show here. Let's get you on a big screen.
This was a surprise.
There we go. Look at that thing.
The world premiere.
3 weeks old, right?
Today. This is Maybelle. She's the
Maybelle.
porker.
The big one?
She's the porker. Got the wrinkles going already. Got the nose rope.
Wow. She's like, what are you doing?
Oh, there she yawning. She got a big mouth. They got big mouths when they yawn. Huh. I don't know if you can hear the other ones whining in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear that.
Look at that big mouth. Holy cow. You're right. A big jaw.
Yeah, she's the chunker. And here comes Angus.
Oh, we got another one coming.
She brought them all 3 up.
Oh,
so this is my buddy Angus. He's a boy. We got 1 boy and 2 girls, or 2 boys and 1 girl. And this is my buddy Angus.
All right.
My buddy. He's got a lot of brown in him. He's a tri. So he's got the brown and the lilac and the white. My buddy. You're just a little guy, huh? Compared to your sister. But yeah. Got the pink nose. Huh.
Yep.
Hi, buddy.
Almost sounds like a pig.
Little piggy.
And this one's Franklin. Little brown boy.
Franklin. He's got a lot more character.
Yeah,
in his
he's
face.
got a lot of different shades.
Yeah.
Somebody. They all opened their eyes just this week, too.
Yeah.
Don't be trying to. He's trying to
licking
bite
your
my
thumb.
finger. There you go.
Oh, look at that one. Yeah, they're all yawning.
Oh, buddy. Okay.
Now I want to see her. I want to see her hand you
No.
the mama.
And this is
Yeah, she didn't come up. But yep, that was a surprise. We were expecting next week, but there you guys go. And Scott, I'm still waiting. Scott and Becky are debating. So,
Really?
well, he mentioned it a couple weeks ago.
we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this must be one of your guys, Paul.
Eddie, yeah.
Looks like he's
Yeah.
got quite a mustache as well.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. He's in a class by himself.
Yeah, Paul. Yeah, JP, that's what I was thinking too. Guinea pigs.
They're getting a little big for
Oh.
that, though.
Oh, I tell you, when they first come out, they look like rats to me. I mean, they just look
Yeah.
like, other
Yeah.
than having like
Yeah.
pretty much no tail. But yeah, they just look like rats. But yeah, 3 weeks in, couple more weeks, they'll start. Well, and they started. Not Maybell, might be because she's too big, but the other two, they've pushed themselves up. They've been on their front legs, but they haven't been on all fours yet. But they'll get their chest off the floor. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So Paul, if you don't mind sharing, Donald Long wants to know what you do for a living.
Retired from Boeing after 33 years. Last 15 was spent in certification. And so what I do now is I go out and I certify aircraft. That's all the way from what we call bug smashers up to the big, transport category aircraft, the twin aisle, single aisle aircraft. So, recently I was out in Roswell, New Mexico, exporting a 777-300. And then just the other day I was at a local airport looking at a little Cessna 172. So it's pretty dynamic. I had the opportunity to fly over to the Channel Islands and import a Bombardier Global 5000, which I later found out was Vin Diesel's airplane,
Wow.
Oh,
and had the opportunity to fly back to the States on that. That was fun. So, but yeah, it's basically in the aircraft certification business.
So when you say certification, do you mean like it was down for repairs or something, and you need to recertify for flight? So it.
No, well, yes and no. If the airplane is coming out of maintenance, or let's say it's going to go to maintenance and it's not airworthy, then I would issue a special flight permit for maintenance, repairs, alterations, or storage. When you import an aircraft, that aircraft has a standard certificate or airworthiness certificate placed on board by the foreign country. That comes off, and I would issue the United States certificate. So, and keep in mind, these airplanes that you see flying around, that's one of the documents that they absolutely have to have on board. If they don't have it, they're in violation, and the pilots, the airplane, they get impounded, and the pilots get reprimanded. So it's a pretty important little piece of paper. In fact, there's a video blogger. His name is Sam Chi, and if you go on look him up on YouTube and look up and put in his name and then 747 SP. I put a special flight permit on that airplane to move it from Canada down to Marana, Arizona, and the captain got on board and basically stated that they had to be in Marana by 3:00 local time, which meant up in Canada they had to leave with flight time and all that stuff. They had about 30 minutes before they had to be airborne. And he basically said, "I'm taking the airplane." And I told him, I said, "Okay, take the airplane, but I'll guarantee you that as soon as you cross into U.S. airspace, you're going to have a couple of escorts. And this may be the last flight that you ever take because there'll be more than just customs waiting for you when you get there. Because I haven't issued the certificate yet." So, and he understood that he was in the wrong. And yes, I did represent the FAA and I knew what I was talking about.
Right.
So the job carries a lot of authority, and you have to have the knowledge to understand and communicate the requirements to the client. So for the most part, I haven't had really any issues. That was the only issue that I really had that came to a head. But outside of that, it's basically knowing the regulations and if you're going to export an airplane, knowing what that importing country requires. So after doing the job for 15 years, you kind of get well versed in it. So, but just know that the airplanes that are flying around, they have those certificates on board. And if you're flying on an older 737, when you walk in the entry door and you look right above your head, there's typically a little pocket up there that will have the airworthiness certificate in it. Now, I believe it was about the last 8 years they moved that to the flight deck. So, but that's kind of cool. And to fly on an airplane that you've certified is kind of cool.
Yeah.
So what about these international flights? You know, do they have two certificates, one for the country they're leaving and one for the one they're going into, or is that?
It depends on what country the aircraft is registered in.
Okay.
If it's United States, then you just have one airworthiness certificate,
Okay.
and that's it. And then if you drill down into the weeds a little bit here, the type certificate for the aircraft has to be accepted by other aviation regulators, like the Chinese or the European Union, the EASA. If it's not accepted, then that aircraft is not allowed to fly in their airspace. So that there's a whole pyramid of regulations that have to fall into place in order to allow these airplanes to fly overseas. So
Very interesting.
yeah, it's definitely it's like buying a damn car, or a house. There's a lot of paperwork involved, and everybody has their lane and their silo where their expertise is in. So
Now, do you fly? Like, are you
Oh,
a
yeah.
pilot as well?
yes, I'm a pilot. I'm a mechanic, and I'm an IA, which is a mechanic with inspection authorization. So I understand how the machine works. It's kind of funny how I started flying. I told my parents that I was going to be an aviation mechanic. I told them I had to get my pilot's license, and they were kind of, scared about that. And I said, well, how can you test drive a car without a driver's license?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there you go.
Right. Right.
The rest is history.
Eddie wants to know if you're still
Eddie.
got the clubman in there.
Of course. course.
So you're kind of saying that Clubman is kind of like made differently than other waxes?
It's water soluble. So
Yeah.
if you use any other wax out there, sometimes it takes oil or a lot of shampoo. So in this Clubman you just use
add
warm
water.
water, like
Yeah.
taking a shower, they'll come out.
Okay. But you find that it holds better.
Yeah.
Like
Well, until you get the humidity involved, and if it gets wet and all that stuff, so you got to be careful.
And you live in a wet place.
Oh yeah. It gets pretty thick down here, I'll tell you that.
For those that don't know, it's South Carolina. It's pretty humid there.
Yeah, we've had heat indexes in triple digits, so
Yeah.
it gets pretty ugly.
Tara wants to know if you've ever dressed up as Dick Dastardly for Halloween.
No, I haven't. I'll have to explore that one.
Yeah, what's he from?
Well,
I can't
wasn't he
What cartoon?
Rocky
Like,
Bullwinkle?
Hanna-Barbera.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Hanna-Barbera. I was thinking
He was
Rocky
always
Bullwinkle.
the bad guy.
Yeah, the evil guy. Yeah.
No, we go on Disney cruises once in a while, the Disney characters they get a good run
yeah.
with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, official Ken was saying the races. Yeah, I think that's well, I don't know if that's Laugh Olympics or something, but
Yeah. Probably about tube a week, maybe something like that. And it's I usually use the neutral.
Hannibal, the wacky races. Was that the one with the grape ape?
Okay.
Grape ape and the buggy. What the hell was the buggy's name? Was that that one?
I don't know. That was before my time.
Yeah, but Terry's not that old, I don't think. I may be wrong, but
Well, yeah, I knew who Dick Dastardly is, but I don't remember these races in detail.
I remember the grape ape. He was a big purple ape.
yeah.
Plus, Dick Dastardly's been in some recent stuff too. Some recent movies or shows. Yeah, I'd say Clubman's probably the original. Like that's like your original mustache wax, isn't it?
I think so. Oh, easy. That answers that question.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see it without wax, just to kind of get a, I don't know, see how wide it gets. Because you said you can't eat with it unless it's waxed, right?
Right. Yeah, it gets pretty ugly if I don't have it styled.
Yeah. What are some tips for people that are growing a mustache to get it, even close to that size? Like what are some things that
don't trim it,
right?
And always carry around a small comb to comb it out from the center and train it. And that's pretty much about it. And then the only other thing that I can think of is for me, alcohol, depending on what alcohol it was, made it grow. So I drank a lot of Guinness. And then when I couldn't, my system said, no, we don't like the carbonation anymore. So I had to switch over to Jack Daniels. So that's where I'm at now. So find out what your fertilizer is and then run with that. And then find out a wax that works for you.
Yeah.
So I just find that for me, Clubman works because I'm not pulling on the hair at all. I don't pull any hair out. But if you use the other waxes, that's the only drawback to them. You got to make sure you get them really warm before you put it in your stash. And it's hard to comb it through and get a good coverage.
And how
So
long are you? Well, you got to be shaven underneath. And how long is your mustache allowed to be that's actually attached to your lip?
it's according to the WBMA, it's the hair on the upper lip, and it can't be any more than 1.5 centimeters beyond the opening of the mouth.
Okay.
And that's it.
Like from the corner out.
Yes. Yeah. 1.5 centimeters out. And then that's
Yeah.
it. Everything else has to be taken off. So these are legal. Sideburns are legal.
Gap there.
But got the gap.
Yeah. Yeah, that's something I've kind of struggled with for years, is growing the mustache. I feel like I just can't grow it any longer. I mean, I haven't trimmed in 3 years, and it seems to be the same length as 3 years ago.
Sometimes it all depends on the genes.
Yeah.
That's, some people have it and some people don't. I've seen a lot of guys go, man, I want to grow a mustache like that. What do I do? It's like, it's not what you do. There's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
You know?
And plus, I think I've read that it has a lot to do with the space in between your nose and the upper lip, kind of like how wide that is too, to be able to, you got more surface area to grow.
Right. Well, if you look at, if you go back in 2017, when the picture of Eddie and Pat and myself, and you look at the amount of hair that's underneath the lip, or underneath the nose, it's like night and day when you compare the two. And Pat doesn't have that much hair. Eddie's got a little bit more, and mine's like a friggin' bush, So
So yeah, on one of the shows, because Bob and Elliot did it, like he did a thing with Death Grip and a little competition, and Bob, I think, got the most. I can't remember how many he got on there. Yeah. So when I had him on, I stacked it on. I had 10 on each side. I was able to.
That's good. I've never tried that before.
You probably, I'd say at least 50 on each side.
That's pretty close, yeah.
But that's if it would hold it up, though. Like, that's a lot of weight too.
Yeah, especially if you get farther out there.
Yeah.
You may have to. Now, have you ever done like straight up? Like try to have it like, was it dolly?
I haven't done that. If I was going to put Cheerios on, that's probably what I would do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a dolly.
Be like an extended Salvador dolly.
Yeah. I mean, but what you're using now holds pretty well. Like, I mean, you've got it shaped up.
Yeah.
And it's still holding.
Yeah.
Like, does that hold all day? Does it kind of?
Yeah, all day. And what's interesting is, since the environment down here, there's a little bit more humidity. I could style it, and then I'm messing with it for maybe 30 minutes afterwards until the wax sets up.
Yeah.
So
now sometimes you have it just straight though.
Yeah.
Like without the curve. Is that harder to do than the curve?
Well, it depends on the day.
Yeah.
Everybody has good hair days and everybody has bad hair days, and some days are good comp days and some days are bad comp days.
Yeah.
So I think at Nationals, to me, was a bad comp day. It wasn't doing what I wanted it to do. Of course, now you're going from my environment to a very dry climate.
A little dry there, yeah.
Yeah. So
by our standards, it was impressive regardless.
It definitely turns heads, that's for sure. you know, and going down to Roswell, New Mexico, it's like, gosh, when I first started growing this, there was a gentleman that I met back up there in Seattle area, and he was fun. He was a comedian, and he looked at me and he goes, Jesus Christ, he says, that thing is shit. You could talk to aliens with that. So the running joke is, yeah, when I go down to Roswell, I tune in and start talking to aliens for a little bit.
Oh yeah. I'm sure you've heard some really good ones. Good comments.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Some of them are just in the looks too. So
Yeah.
another one of those, a picture speaks 1,000 words.
All right.
Yeah, I bet you get a lot of double takes.
Yeah, double and triple, and you know, the comments from the kids are the best.
Yeah.
Too funny. Too funny.
I don't know what that is.
We're not certified. We're not certified to fly.
Oh man.
Oh, well, and I believe what I gathered from the pictures is you're a motorcycle enthusiast as well.
Yes. I've been riding since the mid '80s. So then I got down here in Charleston and lasted 2 years and totaled my wife's bike. I'm lucky I'm even here right now.
Oh wow.
So it's like the bike that you guys put up, that's considered as the other woman. So I still have that one, but I haven't ridden in quite a while because my back has been bad. My upper body is just not as strong as it used to be. And every time I get up the notion to go ride, somebody down here gets killed.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's too much of a risk right now. So, but hey, I've got over 100,000 miles in the saddle, so I'm definitely seasoned.
Yeah. I live in the Harley Davidson capital of the world. So.
Yeah, you do.
And
you do.
Every time I see one on the freeway here, because our freeway is just nuts here, and I'm like, I don't know how you guys still do it. Because some days you're afraid in a car.
I tell you. Yeah, I tell you, I did everything right when I got in my crash. It was a very low speed crash, and I almost missed the person because I hit at the. It was on a driver's side. They pulled out in front of me. I hit just right at the rear bumper. Low speed crash, up, down. I was within literally feet of the bike, so I didn't get pitched down the road. But that was enough to really, anybody that rides, you always hear the phrase, there are those that have and there are those that will. Mm-hmm. And those that have, their priorities change drastically. And the people that you see out riding their bikes now, even though they've been down maybe, they just don't have that, what do you call it? I don't want to say situational awareness. They're hard-headed, if you will. They don't understand the risk. We were down here for 2 weeks, and Scott, you probably know about the flag. I guess it's called the flag ride. The motor company's got a flag that leaves on Memorial Day, touches all 48 states, and comes back to the factory on Labor Day. Well, we were doing our portion down here over 4th of July weekend, and the wife and I were coming back from Savannah, Georgia, and we were in the left lane. And anybody knows that 95 is like the Autobahn, whatever you can get away with. So we were cruising at 85, 90 miles an hour, and we went to go past this one car, and he came over on us and missed us by about 2 feet. And we were 2 up. And that was the closest that I had been to being taken out. And ever since then, the wife and I have not ridden 2-up because there's way too much risk. So, and then I got my crash, and it's like, okay, I understand. And then I see people riding around, and it's like, you guys just don't understand, you know?
Yeah.
So it's bigger than just one word of respect for, you know, the autos. So, and even if you're riding smart and you could be, you know, the number one guy in a motor officer, you know, training exercise, you can still get hit.
Oh yeah, it's the other people out there you got to worry about.
Exactly. And if you get hit, your injuries are severe, very severe.
Yeah, I've had friends who have lost their life. I have friends who can't even walk away, weren't able to walk away from a crash. So, yeah.
So, yeah, a lot of respect for two wheels.
Yeah, that's something I've always worried about, is just not seeing a motorcycle rider until it's too late. I mean, because sometimes, like, it's hard. Like, I mean, of course, I watch for them and I try to be careful, but sometimes it's just the color scheme behind it. You just can't see them clearly, you know, or they just come out of nowhere.
Yeah, I mean that.
The motorcycle driver has to be smart. Okay, if he's riding in a blind spot and somebody comes over on him, that's his problem. That's his fault. You got to be smart when you're riding, not stupid.
Yeah, but regardless whose fault it is, like, if they could die, you know, and that's on you. Like, that's on the person that hit them. Even if it's not their fault, you know, it's just like.
And the other thing too, when we got ran off the road on 95, the wife was looking at the guy when we went by. He was on a cell phone.
That's part of the problem.
Yeah.
And this is 2011.
Right. Yeah.
So I mean, it's just now it's even more dangerous.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Heck, people could be watching movies.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, and then what gets me is these kids on these crotch rockets that just don't have a care in the world, and they're splitting cars doing 80, 100 mile an hour, and I'm like, you're just asking for it.
Oh, I agree. I'm with you. And that's one thing that pisses off a lot of the motorcyclists out there now, when they see other fellow riders doing stupid stuff like that.
Yep.
You know, and it's like, hey, if you get hit, you're asking for
definitely.
All right.
it. You know. I don't subscribe to that.
Not sure
Scott,
what
you look perplexed.
I just didn't understand the comment Donald left for Tara. It was something about honeymooners.
About that.
Well, Tara was saying that he's not that old. And then apparently Donald saw the honeymooners live.
Oh.
I was just checking our Rumble account. It seems like it kind of messed up again.
I don't know. I even set it up, thought correctly.
Yeah. It just keeps
I see
playing
that.
the starting soon.
Yeah, I don't know what I did wrong there this week. I'll have to figure it out. Because you got to put in a code.
Wow.
A streaming code.
Yeah. I wonder if Facebook's working tonight.
I hope.
Lately we've had trouble with it. I mean, I guess it's the restream, format.
Yeah, and you're not kicked off.
Yeah, it's not playing on Facebook either.
Yeah, some of the linking up has
Interesting.
had issues lately.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think so, Jason.
So, you want to do this?
Yeah, let's go. All right, 5 questions, Paul. First one. This one I ask of everyone. Favorite toy as a kid? When you were a kid, what was your favorite toy in the world?
Big wheel.
Yeah.
Big wheel. Nice. Which one did you have?
Oh man, the one that was orange and yellow. How's that?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say the Dukes of
I
Hazzard.
remember those green machines.
Yeah, I remember the green machine too. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
I broke my big wheel. We at our old house, there was like the basement, it had a step down in the cement, and there was like a big piece of, it was like a little deck. I don't remember how high it was, probably about that high, but my dad had made a deck because it stepped down before the steps to go out. And it was stepped down, and we used to get water in there. And we did have a sump pump in there. But when we'd get water, that wooden deck would float away from the steps. Well, one time I tried riding from the concrete to jump over to that, and I broke it. You know, the red plastic neck that come up for the steer, it just broke. So that was done. But
boy, I didn't think you could break those that easily.
no.
Oh yeah, they all break in the same spot.
If I remember right, I mean, because obviously I can remember that. So I was a little bit older, and I think I was a little big for it anyway. I might even had the backrest part off of it. I was, the last set of holes was still too small for me.
Yeah. All right, a little bit of trivia for you. What city or town is it illegal for men with mustaches to kiss women?
Illegal to do what?
To kiss a woman. If you have a mustache, it's illegal to kiss a woman in this United States town.
Got to be a redneck place. Can't be. I don't know.
Eureka, Nevada.
You got to be kidding. No way.
And I never even heard of Eureka, Nevada. I've heard of Eureka, California, but not Nevada. So it's got to be like a population of 10.
Wow. I wonder if they enforce that.
I doubt it. So, you kind of almost answered this earlier when you were talking about sitting on the plane, but have you ever poked anyone in the eye with your mustache?
I always say safety glasses are required. Side shields are optional. And if you get close to me and I poke you in the eye, then you're in my space.
You're a fall. Too close. And you mentioned, that YouTube video with that person, that plane that went from Canada to Arizona. I was watching it the other day. My son was watching it with me, and he has a question for you. So his question was, have you ever had any close calls with the mustache and the airplane engine?
No, but I do know that when I was in Seattle certifying 37s, I would go in the lower lobe of the airplane up where the all the computers are at. And I didn't have a problem then. And it was a few years ago, I had the opportunity to go in another 737. And this mustache, I had to be real careful going in the door because it was touching the fuselage as I went in on both sides. And I had to be careful that I didn't, like a battery, arcing between the computers inside the E&E bay. Yeah. So, in fact, I always say, I won't open the hood of a running vehicle.
Yeah.
So there's too much in paper shredders. Think about it. If you're next to a paper shredder and you turn your head, there's a good 12 inches hanging down that could get caught in that thing.
Yep.
So, but yeah, no close calls, but I'm very aware of the surroundings.
You're very careful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a blue collar worker. I'm a fabricator welder, and I've been, and we have some machines too, like a mill and a lathe and stuff, but even grinders. I've been paying more attention the last year or so.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I look at Aaron Johnson. Okay.
Yeah.
Look at his
Yeah.
goatee. And he's a welder by trade.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, with long beards, I mean, it's so easy to get close to something without even realizing because you're not looking straight down.
yes.
And
Yes.
then you have to just be conscious of what's beside you. A couple feet away.
Well, here's one thing that I noticed. As you walk around your house, or if you're walking around any building, and say you get close to a wall, like you're cutting the corners. Okay, I can feel that with my
Yeah.
mustache.
You
That
can
just
sense
started.
the wall is there.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, what they call them? Curb fillers, like curb fillers on the old car.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. We would know what curb feelers are, but the folks, the new kids, what are those?
Yeah.
I have no idea what you're talking
On the car, they used to have these little things that would feel the edge of the curb.
Yeah, they kind of
So
stuck
when you're driving
out
close,
on an angle.
tell you you're close to the curb.
Google it sometime.
Yeah, I'll have to look at my history books. All right, last question. The average man spends 6 months of his life shaving and mustache grooming, assuming that he begins around 15 and lives to be around 75. What would your time equal?
No.
The average man is 6 months. I'm sure you've already gone past 6 months.
Oh yeah, no.
30 years.
No. Yeah, it's. I said no, and then once the handlebar thing came in because I've been in aviation for about 40 years, and if you go back in the pioneer days, all those guys had handlebars.
Yeah.
So that's why I started growing it, and then it got to the point where no, I'm not going to trim it. I'm not going to shave it. So I've had it for probably 40 years now. But yeah, the handlebar part of it was about 30 years.
So how long does it take for what you've got for us today? Like, how long is that prep?
This prep?
Yeah. How much time to get it to?
Well, shoot, it takes about 5 minutes to get the wax heated up, and then maybe another 2-3 minutes to comb it through.
Mhm.
Done. Just roll it, and you're done.
Okay.
And if you use the other type of wax, you're constantly grabbing it and pulling it through and doing this, and it's just too much. What do I call it? Beautification. I'm not into that. It's a quick and dirty.
Yeah. Well, that's all the questions I had for the 5 questions. I know Tara just came up with another costume idea for you. Catfish.
Catfish.
So I guess
That's
the
a good
question,
one.
have you ever dressed like anything for Halloween because of your mustache, like using your mustache as part of the costume?
Well, the costume that I have is, I don't have very many. I just have the one, but the costume that I have basically is like a barkeep,
Yeah.
you know, and in the derby. So pretty basic. I haven't gone out and gone all out for a costume.
Mhm.
I know both Pat and Eddie. They have some pretty nice costumes.
Well, now you have some ideas if you ever want to
Yeah,
do that.
freestyle. No,
No.
that's too much time.
Yeah, Scott and I were talking to a guy in Casper that does the freestyle, and
Yeah.
he spent like 4 or 5 hours on his
No.
design.
Nope, not doing it.
I'm the same way. Like, that's way too long.
I don't even
for
know
me
if I
to-
could.
Yeah, I mean, I'd probably spend that like double that time, and it still it wouldn't even look that nice.
Look at all these. Think of these guys that are doing the freestyle competitions. I talked to some of them in 2017 that are spending upwards of 10 hours on their beards.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and some of the stuff he was explaining, and at nationals he was having issues.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Bad hair days. Bad comp hair days.
Yeah, and I don't think the cold weather was helping either.
No, and that's just it. It all depends on the environment that you're in. Yeah, no, it's if you get into a dry climate, I've had this thing set up within 5 minutes. So you got to be quick, really quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what Walter was asking. Just 5-7 minutes. It sounds like you can get.
Yeah. Like I say, it takes longer to heat the wax up than it does to actually style it. So
I guess the only benefit, so like the people that use, the regular beeswax, the newer versions, is that it'll hold in more climates than the Clubman.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah. It'll hold up to weather. I know when I was up in Seattle, I don't know if anybody's heard of the Seattle Cossacks. Their motorcycle drill team has been around about 70 years, something like that. And one of their captains, he's since passed away, but he was from Louisiana. And I met him at a service, and he said, "Hey man," he says, "come on over to my house." He says, "I got something to show you." And he had a little handlebar mustache too. So he made his own mix, and what it was a 50-50 mix of beeswax and the lanolin that you'd find in the toilet rings. He would put it into a can and heat it up with a heat gun, and he'd take a chapstick tube, heat the chapstick out, get it out, and then pour this stuff in. And since Washington, Western Washington, it's raining most of the time, and he's an escort officer, he would use that on his mustache, and it was water resistant.
Yeah.
So, but there's a lot of different chemical makeups for wax.
Right.
So, and a lot of these companies out there, I applaud them for doing their due diligence and to get stuff that works. It has the variable holding and all that stuff. That's a lot of work. A lot of work.
Well, we've had that one company on.
Savvy Jack.
Yeah.
Yeah, Savvy Jack mustache wax company. And he uses it to lubricate his
bullets
pistol. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, there's more use. There you go.
Yeah.
Multi-purpose.
Yeah.
And he sells it in like a lip balm kind of tube.
Yeah.
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 I've seen a couple of companies sell it that way.
That's interesting. So the wax ring for a toilet, he would take 50% of that and 50% beeswax.
Never would have thought
Yeah.
of that.
I was surprised. I was
Yeah.
really surprised.
That stuff is
Hopefully it wasn't a used toilet ring.
it is that stuff is sticky and gooey, that's for sure.
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
Now there was a question earlier, Donald Long. I don't know if you're still here, Donald. He asked how the Canadian forest fire smoke was doing in my area. It's not as bad as a lot of the other places. It does look hazy here, but it's not near as bad as what it's like in New York and Jersey. Of course, I'm on the western side of PA, so. But yeah, I mean, it's been hazy, but yeah, it's nothing like what you guys on the East Coast have.
Have you seen that picture Mark posted of the sun? That was
Yeah.
kind of interesting.
What's funny is, like, I know it's really bad there in New York City and Philly and Jersey, and the air quality was like in the 150s, 160s, 170s. And that's not even close to what it is out in Denver or Cheyenne when there's fires in Western Canada. Because it gets into the 200s. And like Los Angeles at one time was like 200 to 300 all the time. But on the East Coast, like they're not, like I think it's just not used to having that problem. Whereas it's every summer here. There's at least one span of this haze, you can't breathe. Yeah, my mom still lives in Pennsylvania, and she's, she can't go outside because she has bad asthma. So she's been staying inside this past week because it's just too much for her to breathe. Yeah, Mark in Washington or Pacific Northwest, he gets hit. Yeah.
I have no idea.
Is that you, Paul?
Nope.
What was it?
Don't claim it.
Yeah.
That was weird. Yeah. Well, does anyone else have any questions for Paul? Oh, Mark's in Northern Idaho. Okay. Yeah. Is that really Pacific Northwest, Mark? I guess it is, but
well, that's not
northern
that far
part
from
at
you.
least. Oh yeah,
Well,
it's like 12.
The whole length of the state, isn't it? Well, north is farther.
Yeah.
Well, for our chat, I did say I was going to play something this week to somebody.
Oh.
Jay Cruz was talking about Jason this week on the CMU.
Oh, that's right.
So I said I could play this.
That's right.
Jason is a big fan of what we in the bearded community call the whistle song.
I never heard the words to it.
Well, Jay Cruz plays it. It doesn't get words, but with our soundboard that I use, where I get it from, it comes with the words in it.
Yeah. Donna wants to know any embarrassing moments with the mustache.
Flight attendants. Just the looks from some of them. And of course you can just tell by the look that the wheels are definitely turning.
Yeah.
So, no, not too many embarrassing moments.
Yeah.
Pretty much used to, the attention. So that's the other thing. If you don't want the attention, don't do anything like this.
All right. Yeah.
I just thought, since he said embarrassing moment, I got a question. Do you often get asked for mustache rides?
I have a pin on my vest that has the handlebar mustache, and it has mustache rides 5 cents.
Yeah.
So I think due to inflation, I think it's about a quarter now.
So Mark Johnson was asking if anyone asked how long it took to grow. And I believe it's 30 years, yeah.
30 years.
About 30 years, yeah, just shy of 30 years.
How many competitions have you been in?
Not many. I think I was in a couple of them before 2017, and then when Paul pushed me into going to Worlds, I did that, and then I felt it wasn't fair for me to go compete in like a local competition or say anything short of nationals, because it's a stacked deck, and if you want to grow the culture and get people involved, it doesn't pay to have somebody who's been on the world stage and jumped on the podium to be, in the competition.
Right.
So
have you judged any?
No, I have not. Nobody has reached out to me to judge, which I would, but that's everybody else's prerogative.
Yeah, the one we're going to, they have Taxi Phil. And
oh, really?
Yeah. Or is he emceeing it? He might be emceeing it, but I know he's involved. They had this other judge they announced this week who has a small mustache.
Yeah. So that's a good question, Tara. Any random birds ever perch on your mustache?
I've been, how do I put this? Birds have done drive-bys, put it that way. But none have actually attempted to land.
That'd be interesting. You're just sitting there.
That would be good for, maybe like creative design for a mustache competition. If you could train a bird to perch on your mustache and then go up on stage like that.
It would have to be a small bird. This wouldn't be able to support
much, like a little finch or something.
Be a pirate for Halloween.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, Paul, thanks for coming on the show. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
We didn't know each other. I just kind of reached out to you when I saw that you were in the Guinness. You got awarded the Guinness, and all those articles came out about you. And I was like, yeah, we got to get this guy on the show because we definitely have Guinness record holders. The other guy that we've had on here with Guinness records, he's got like 12 or 13, and that's by sticking things in his beard.
Q-tips.
That's too much vanity.
I told him that's too much work.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I'm still waiting for my Guinness record to come in the mail for the beer chain.
Yeah, there you go.
Apply for it?
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't have enough length for that.
I bought it. Yeah. Yeah, you're just short. Just looking in short, right?
Yeah.
Thanks, Russ.
Oh, well, thanks, Russ.
I think I read Russ said he never charges for mustache rides.
Oh, boy.
Hey, man, you got to do something to keep the positive revenue coming in.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, it's been a great show, guys. If I don't think anybody else has any other questions, but thanks, Paul, for joining us tonight.
Yeah, thank you. It's been educational.
Yep.
It's been
Anytime, guys.
educational as well as entertaining. Yes.
I'm just glad I wasn't traveling.
Yeah.
Yeah. We lucked out on it.
Yeah. Normally Mike's the one who's always traveling.
Yeah.
He knows.
Yeah.
And everybody, next Thursday, it looks like we're gonna have a Copper John's type of show. We'll
Copper John's
have
puppy party.
Tyson on the show from Copper John's. Most unique. Yeah, you never know what you're gonna find
Thanks, Chris.
on the Bearded Respect.
Thanks, Chris. We try to keep it interesting.
So, guys, please tune in next
everyone.
week and have a good night.
Yep. Good night, guys. Thanks again, Paul.
You guys, thanks.